Halloween season is here. Spooky time on Forest Tales channel. Dream Eater. Nikki was so excited that she could barely hide it. She was just hired to work with one of the best journalists she has ever known. It was a dream coming true, and if it wasn't enough, she was moving from her tiny and sad little town to New York for the job. She was going to live inside a rom-com movie, and she was almost disbelieving in her luck. Her boss, Mr. Baku Kurogi, was a legend in the field of investigative news and had such an impressive curriculum, and the reputation says that after working with him, someone could choose any job and would be accepted. That was the chance Nikki had been waiting for her whole life. Her first week was flowing well. Mr. Kurogi was nicer than she expected, and apparently people were very happy to work for him. It was a lot of work and extra hours for what she could notice, but that was comprehensible. She was used to working a lot and had always been dedicated and well succeeded, even being highly underestimated in her previous job. But now she could show her skills, and everything was going to be different this time. She was a dreamer. The weeks passed by, and Nikki was working harder and harder, more hours and dedication, and even saying that he doesn't approve competition. Mr. Kurogi was always comparing her with others and making her feel not enough. She started getting melancholic and didn't have time or energy to do her activities anymore. She abandoned her hobbies and social life, then the gym, and eventually she stopped cooking and cleaning her own house because all the time that she was awake, Nikki was working. And because she was really trying to be good at that job, she was ignoring everything and continued putting her effort into her work. She was watching from the first line her colleagues leaving the job to have high positions in reputable media, entertainment, marketing, and journalism companies. It was going to be worthy sometime, she just had to keep going. Then, she started to notice that some of her colleagues were acting weird. Sonia, that was there for a while and was constantly nervous, suddenly became quiet. She didn't do much more work anymore and people thought she was going to be fired, but she would have one-to-one reunions with Mr. Kurogi very frequently, and her job that had always been criticized, started to be approved by him. And it wasn't just her, there were others in the same dynamic. But Nikki was still dedicating herself and being hardly recognized and constantly had her competence questioned, especially in public. She felt that until she was ready to go to work somewhere else, things would not be better for her. One day, she was on her way to Mr. Kurogi's office to have a meeting. She was early, but it was okay, she could wait in the hallway. Everything was too silent, so she thought maybe he wasn't there at all and spy into the office through the glass window above his door to be sure. And what she saw was impossible. Sonia was sitting there, eyes open and white as if she had lost her vision, mouth opened and drooling, and Mr. Kurogi was beside her, his mouth wide open and glued to her head, apparently sucking something from her left ear. Nikki was in shock and completely incapable of understanding what was happening. She saw Mr. Kurogi cleaning his mouth with a napkin and sitting back at his place with a smile. When Sonia's eyes went back to normal, he said, "So, that's your expectations, huh? I believe you should think about getting a job that suits you better. Not everyone can have the best job, and it's okay to be realistic, it will increase your chances. Think about it and let me know, I will support you." Sonia just nodded her head with a stupid smile and grabbed her stuff to leave the room, so Nikki ran back to the middle of the hallway, pretending she was arriving at the same moment Sonia was leaving. While Nikki was walking inside the office, she thought to herself, what the hell am I doing? I should have run away from him. But she was already there, and the dumb choice was already made. Mr. Kurogi started the meeting complaining about all she had been doing, and she knew it was good. She couldn't understand why he was so demanding and cruel with some and so generous and kind with others. She almost forgot what happened to Sonia until he mentioned her. You see, Sonia, for example, she knows her strength and her weakness, so she is thinking accordingly to her capabilities. That's how you have the best achievements, being realistic. Mr. Kurogi said. Nikki felt her whole body turn cold in fear and felt shivers in the back of her head. Without thinking in what she was doing, Nikki said, "Mr. Kurogi, with all respect, I know my skills and exactly what I want to do, and I am working to achieve it. If I can't now, it will happen in the future." She wasn't sure why she answered that, an intuition probably, it was spontaneous. Maybe that's how she felt anyway. "I still think you should do as Sonia and think about what is suitable to you. Having more realistic goals would prevent you from frustration. And not everyone was meant for greatness. If everyone could, then greatness won't exist, would be ordinary," Mr. Kurogi said with a condescending tone. "And I am telling you that if I can't be great here, then I will be great somewhere else," Nikki said, grabbing her things to walk away from there. Mr. Kurogi laughed and said, okay, let's see what you can do. Wasted dreams can be bitter for those who just wish but have an incredible taste for those who make them come true." Nikki felt dizzy as her anxiety about leaving that place was rising, and without answering him, she went out of Mr. Kurogi's office, running back to her table. Nikki said to her colleagues that she was feeling ill, skipping a board meeting that was scheduled, and while everyone was out, she put her stuff together and left her resignation letter, written in 5 minutes, over the desk. Nikki left the building as if she was running away from a crime scene, terrified about being followed, and never answered the emails and phone calls from Mr. Kurogi or anyone related to him, ever again. Follow at Forest the Storyteller in Instagram, YouTube and TikTok for more. Check out our website to read more tales. www.forestplumptales.com